replacing solar charger controller. This one's faulty, although I've just found there's a dodgy cable which may not have been helping. But put a new one on anyway. And one thing I found when I put this panel on originally is the positive negative wired up wrong on the solar panel, right from the solar panel itself. So yeah, the positive is black on here and the negative is red. So yeah, if you ever put a solar panel on and you wonder why it's not working, just check, because sometimes things can be wrong. Anyway, let's get this sorted. So that is now charging, so that corroded lead is probably the problem. So hopefully, nice sunny day, not too much cloud, that'll charge that up. If not, we'll take it home and put it on the charger. And we'll test this one. If that's okay, we can use it on another project. So now that we've got the solar panel charging again, having sorted out the wiring, what have you, I thought I'd run through what we use the solar and the battery power for. So behind me you've got a bit of IBCs, and we store water in there for use in the summer, and we've got a couple more to fill up. We're at about just under 9,500 litres now. We had about 7,000 litres last year, which just goes through. So we've upped that a little bit. But there's always a demand for water, so we'll keep upping that until we know we've got enough regardless. Here's our solar setup. So we've got 100-watt solar panel, and feeding in through a solar controller, and we've got an isolator. So if we want any work on everything, we can isolate the solar panel. And we've got 12-volt power and USB chargers, so we can plug in, charge our phones off grid. And then below we've got a 12-volt pump. So the pump operates switch, and then we've got some control valves. So on the left we've got water coming in, so this one comes in from a ground source. I'll show you in a minute. So where we got mains water coming in, which we hardly use, we've got a hole in the ground, it fills up with water, and we pump the water out of there through the pump. And then we can select from here whether it goes to a hose pipe or a tap on the side, or whether it goes to another pipe which goes back into the IBC tanks for storage. Or if you really want to, you can pump it around in circles. So back to this one, if we select the other one, this feed comes from the IBCs, and again you can select whether you want to pump it around in circles or when you're going to put it to a hose pipe. We've also just put in a little inverter, so if we're using drills and things like that, we can charge batteries, so that's a nice little addition. And then we've got a little light, so packing up in the evening we can see what we're doing. Doesn't take a lot to see. And we've also got a little light inside the polytunnel, so again in the evening, or if you come in when it's dark, you can put a little bit of light on, just enough to see what you're doing. So that's really handy. And then inside here we've got a leisure battery, and that's connected up to the solar panels, and then powers everything else from there. So that's how the solar and the battery works. And then you can see how the pipe comes up through and through here, out through the side, and then we've got a tap. So if I switch the pump on, Then if I disconnect that one, connect that one up. Tap off. Clear water. There we can water our plant. We can also run a pipe from there behind me into the fruit cage. So we've got watering system, runs off the same pump. We've got some garlic in here, and this is Mrs. S's strawberry bed, and we've got a few raspberries which we'll build on. So yeah, that enables us to water that. So this is where water comes from. When we got water around here, it naturally fills up. When we get rain here, just flows everywhere, and that fills up, and we pump the water out there, and that's what's filled up the IBCs. And we got mains here, which we try not to use because you've got to pay for it, and why pay for it when you've got something for free? So over on the IBCs, we've got one pipe going in and one going out. I did have those connected on the taps on the bottom, but the tap I had snapped off. So bottom of these, you can see you've got a tap, and the water comes out through there. So that's how that works. And we got a couple of these bigger containers. They're 1500 litres. They're both full up. And then, so the next stage, so we've got Paul here. He's setting up this other polytunnel here. And we just set up a couple more solar panels here. And that's feeding into here. Paul. And so this has just been set up, not quite finished yet. So through a solar controller, got isolation, and then battery, and then Paul's experimenting with fans here. So we've got a couple of fans in here to circulate the air around, and then he's installed a nice opening window here to help keep the temperature right. I think we're doing another one on the other door once when he gets 5 minutes, and that's something I've got to do on the big polytunnel as well. He's busy planting tomatoes, trying to get things started. So that's where we got so far. And then in the corner here, we've got Paul's little project here, which he's going to try and use solar to do some heating. I'm not sure if it's going to work yet, but
it just needs a bit of experimenting.
So Paul likes to experiment, so we're going to have a play around with that and get it up and running, and then we'll do a little video on that as well. So yeah, so that's the way it works here. So yeah, totally off grid, own water system, and electricity,
the heat exchanger,
and the heat exchanger.
That's going to be filled up with sand and some heating elements. Let's run off the solar, hopefully.
And if it doesn't work off the solar, we'll come up with another plan.
Wind.
Wind, yes. So and that will run hot water, which will circulate through these pipes.
Hopefully we'll keep the frost out.
Which will help keep the frost out.
Have a longer growing season.
So that's all very exciting.
Definitely.
So there we go. So that's the current setup. We ran the solar and the water system last year all summer, which worked really well. had a few little teething problems with hoses, cheap hoses. When they get hot, get very soft, and then they flex too much, and if you're using them to draw water out through, the vacuum sucks the hose in. The filter on the bottom here locks up sometimes. You see there, just a standard little filter, quite a fine filter. So that one might block up occasionally. When we get a lot of rain, we get a lot of silt and what have you, and the water is very acid, so it turns brown and you get a bit of a scum forming, and then like an algae. So yeah, that's how that works. If you've got any questions or comments, yeah, please drop any comments below, and we'll try and answer any questions. We're not experts in this. We're making it as we go along, but trying to make a system which is relatively cheap and functional, and make life a little bit easier to water the garden. The next project will be to sort out an automated watering system. I think the first phase will be to get like a drip system or some sort of sprinkler system, so that we can just turn the pump off and it does the watering for us rather than having to walk around with a hose. And then later on, the plan is to try and automate that completely, put on a timer. So not quite sure how that's going to work yet. So follow us, like us, follow the page, and we'll keep you updated. But that's the system we've put in, and that's how it's working at the moment. So there you go. Watch this space. If you enjoy our videos, please hit the like and subscribe buttons.
Even if you don't like it, still hit the like and subscribe button.